Kelly Diedring is back with us. You know what I love, and what I love about mine is when I'm in a pinch and I forget to make dinner, I can make a gourmet dinner in like 35 minutes.
That's absolutely right.
Machine.
This is the new fast food. It tastes like slow cooked food, but it cooks fast. Now you see what I just did is I poured in my chunks of pineapple, a little bit of rum, and some cinnamon. And then I'm going to set this on. I'm going to put it on airtight, and then I've got it set for 3 minutes. You didn't hear me wrong. That's 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Once this machine comes up under pressure, 3 minutes, you're going to have dessert for an entire family. I just pushed start. But you said it. This really is all about cooking healthy food and cooking it fast. Right behind you, grab those ribs for me, will you?
I will.
I want you to see. Hold those up.
Frozen ribs.
2 giant racks of baby back ribs.
Okay.
Now, my husband loves ribs.
Me too.
Here's the deal. He and his buddies get up at 4 in the morning to start cooking ribs that we're not going to eat until the afternoon, and it drives me crazy. I said there's got to be a better way. Guess what? There is. You're going to be able to cook delicious, fall off the bone baby back ribs. If you believe it, if I tell you it's under an hour. Now, here's the biggest problem. They're so soft and juicy that you're not even going to be able to get them out. Look at that.
Yeah, they actually fall apart.
I mean, these are so juicy. These are the juiciest.
Look at the bones.
I mean, check that out. Look at it. Like, comes right out. It's so soft and juicy. And you mentioned that's how.
I mean, look at
use those fingers, guy.
I don't care. Look at the bones. They come completely clean. And how long did you cook those for?
Under an hour for the exact same amount of ribs that it would take you all day to cook. And trust me, you are not losing anything with the flavor. Here we go. The entire rack coming on out here. Look at how delicious.
Look, guys, look at the meat. Do you see how it this is fall apart?
It's so moist and delicious. And here's the deal. It just infuses your meal with what you put inside. It also is making your gravy at the exact same time. So these ribs are gonna taste better because when you cook in a conventional way and you see steam coming out, guess what's leaving when you see that steam? Your vitamins, your minerals, your nutrients, that's all escaping. Not with a pressure cooker. You can see right here, I'm actually browning in my pressure cooker. So there's no need to actually dirty another pan. You can sizzle and brown. So
a lot of pressure cookers you can't brown in. They actually cook on a slower method, and it never gets up to that sort of roaring boil or rolling boil, or where you can actually fry things. And I like to do what you're doing. I like to brown my onions and peppers. I do one with chicken thighs just like this, and you know what I put in? I put in a container of the Catalina dressing and a package of onion soup mix. And a cup of water. I close it, serve it over white rice. It's the most amazing thing. It's my mom's chicken 1890. We used to do it in the oven. 3.5 hours in the oven.
I know, and now
45 minutes in here.
Now here's that moment. When you come home, you've forgotten to thaw out the meat. Maybe you can cook from frozen. Those chicken thighs we just put in there were partially frozen. I just poured some salsa, so any liquid, that's how a pressure cooker works. It's kind of a technical science that we won't get into, but you just put a liquid. So that could be marinara, that could be beer, red wine, white wine. That could be any liquid that you have.
That's all you do is close it.
You put it in there from frozen, you close it and you lock it. Let me show you that again. You close it and you lock it.
And now it's sealed.
It's sealed, and here's the deal. Here, the Elite pressure cooker, there's a reason that it's a #1 selling kitchen electric at HSN. It's because it's fantastic, but it also has a bunch of safety features built in. So if you have that story of your grandmother's pressure cooker wobbling around and you've been intimidated by pressure cooking, not with the electric pressure cooker. Here's what you do. You lock it into place. Then you can see right here, if we get a shot of that, it's set to airtight. That means I'm gonna be cooking. When I wanna release the pressure, I put it to exhaust, and that means you're getting ready to eat.
You can see the steam coming out.
So airtight means I'm gonna be cooking. Exhaust means I'm gonna be eating. Now there's this pressure valve back here. Can you see that? When you're under pressure, that pops straight up. And once that pin pops up, you cannot get this lid open. That is a fantastic safety feature. So once that lid comes under pressure, once this machine comes under pressure, that pops up, you cannot get it open. It's got all these safety features designed. Now I'm gonna actually walk around front here because I wanna show you the digital brain of this pressure cooker. Elite has thought of everything. So it has a preheat function, which is fantastic. And I'm gonna cancel this so I can show you all of it. All right. We have the reheat function, and you just hit this one button. This is literally one button cooking. So why would you ruin a meal that you cooked in a pressure cooker by throwing it in the microwave to reheat it? No longer. Put it back in your pressure cooker to reheat it. How about beans, 14 minutes, brown rice, 20 minutes, white rice, 10 minutes, wild rice and grains, 25 minutes, okay? Stew, 18 minutes for a full pot of stew, 8-quart capacity stew. We've got poultry in 20 minutes. Pork and ribs, 30 minutes. Soups, beef, potatoes, desserts, vegetables, fish. I mean, there's so many options.
Everything.
13 functions, guys.
There's not many things you cannot do inside a pressure cooker, and I want you to think about something. Now, behind me here, right? You see this? There's a stove down here. I don't know, maybe you can see it on our overhead camera, but there's a stove back here. Let me show you something, everybody. All right, here's a stove, right? You see how big that stove is? Okay, that stove is about 2.5 feet wide by about 2.5 feet tall. That's this big, everybody. Now, why would I want to heat up something this big to cook something that big? It doesn't make any sense. And why would I want to keep that on for 3.5 hours? Do you know how much energy that thing sucks up? And do you know how much energy costs this? It's a fraction of the cost because it's contained cooking. It's faster. You don't have to keep your oven on for hours. You know when I do that chicken dish I tell you my mom makes?
Yes.
It's 3 hours because it's chicken thighs. And chicken thighs have a lot of tendony stuff in there, and they have to break down over time. That's why your corned beef doesn't taste good. You don't let it cook long enough. In here, you can't screw it up. You cook it for a short amount of time, under pressure, falls apart when you take it out.
It absolutely does. This is slow cooking, but the fast way, and it's healthier for you. So throw away all those frozen dinners that you were once feeding your family. Skip ordering the pizza. Remember I talked about those safety features? Check it out. The lid comes completely off, so you don't have to bend over the unit when it's warm. I'm just gonna pop that lid off, put it back here. But remember, we just cooked our chicken from frozen. I'm gonna get it out here, and I'll just show you what it looks like when you get it out, because it really is the juiciest meal you're gonna have all day. When you eat a pressure cooked meal, you tell me that you can't tell the difference. It is literally falling apart. Again, you're gonna have the problem of getting it out because it's so juicy and moist, and you haven't lost all of those nutrients and those vitamins and the minerals that you're supposed to be eating. Look, we're gonna make.
I'm going in.
You go in. How's that? I'm gonna make, how about a taco salad? You know, you've got, a lot of us just have things sitting in our homes. We don't realize that we actually have the food to make the healthy meal. Don't take the easy way out. This actually is the easy way.
And I'm telling you, thighs are the best part of the chicken. As far as I love that part. I cook them. They're more affordable than the breast meat.
That's right.
And they're delicious because they have the collagen in them. They've got that, you know, that stuff that makes your mouth stick together. We call lip smack, and that's what that is. So you can do it in a Mexican style. You can do it in an Asian style if you want to put
Italian style,
Asian barbecue, Italian style. You can do all that. But here's the thing: St. Patty's Day coming up soon.
Oh,
one of my favorite holidays of the year, and I always am known to make corned beef. Now, everybody's like, "How do you do it, Guy?" 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I know when to come out, but a lot of people don't understand that. You cannot screw this up, all right?
No,
corned
you can't.
beef in, put your cabbage in, and you can cook it at different intervals. If you want to cook your corned beef first, and then you want to, watch this, I want to see it. Watch this, you want me to help you?
Yeah, no, go for it. Cut into that and tell me how easy that is. It's so juicy.
I'm going to grab a fork.
Oh, please, yes. Here's another one. This was cooked in 26 minutes. There you go, guys. Look at that. How perfect and delicious is that?
That
it's
is the
juicy
way
and moist.
Corned beef, and look, do you see it? And cut it thin like that. Look at this is absolutely.
You are an expert, aren't you?
Gorgeous. You know me, I'm the old restaurant guy. I used to sit there at the line and do this for hours at a time on St. Patty's Day at the restaurant, just cutting corned beef. But look at that, still juicy, still tender, fall apart. That's the difference. And look at your cabbage, your carrots. By the way, carrots are perfectly cooked. That's the way you want your carrots to be cooked.
And they've retained their nutrients. You're not cooking them in an oven where they're losing their nutrients. And here's the deal. I want to remind folks, it's one pot cooking, one button cooking, but one pot cooking. Because look, I've done my meat, my veggies. I also have the sauce, like your au jus sauces or any other kind of sauces. You're making it all at the same time. 26 minutes, and you have the most delicious St. Patty's Day meal.
You can't, it's goof proof. You can't screw this up, folks. That's what I love about it. Hey, from our live chat, Tony says he has it. It's good, it's big, get the red one. That's what Tony says. All right, there's also a sample of cooking times in here, and I'll give you an example of how that works. So if you're doing Brussels sprouts, 5 minutes. You know Brussels sprouts take 45 minutes to an hour in the oven, 5 minutes in a pressure cooker. You can do okra, which is 3 minutes. That's a tough vegetable to cook. Squash, 8 minutes. Butternut, 5 minutes. takes me 10 minutes in the microwave to cook butternut squash.
And you're then using microwave.
I've
you
done
don't
it, yeah,
want to do that. Absolutely
By the way,
not. This is the healthy way to do it.
Leek and asparagus risotto, beef and pepper sauce. There's recipes in here. Chicken adobo, chicken piccata, spare ribs, meatloaf. You can do your meatloaf in here, for goodness sake. Jambalaya. We all love jambalaya. And essentially, guys, like I said, old-fashioned rice pudding. Essentially, you can't screw it up. All you do again, so here's an example for you. I want to make pot roast. What do? Go buy the cheapest cut of meat, the top round, bottom round that you can find. Right. Stick it in here. Take some carrots and onions, throw those in there. Go get some of that French onion soup mix. Dump that in there.
That idea.
Half a cup of wine and a half a cup of water, maybe a bay leaf. Put the lid on, shut it for, what do you think on a pot roast, guys? What? 45 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, at the most.
45 minutes. Now,
most.
if I was putting that in the oven, brown it, 3.5 hours in the oven, right? And then I got to keep that oven on. Do this. All right. We got 500 left with about 7 minutes remaining. There's only 500 of these units left, and they're getting dangerously close to being sold out in the red. Look at the rice you did.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
You probably bought a pressure-based rice cooker. All the finest restaurants use pressure-based rice cookers, but they only cook rice.
Gosh.
Your pressure cooker's going to do it perfectly every time. Here's the thing. I love rice. I eat a lot of vegetables, and I love to have it with rice. I can ruin rice like nobody's business.
Yeah.
I can burn it. It's spilling on my counter. It's frying to the bottom of my pan. If you've ever had an issue with rice, get the pressure cooker if it's just for the rice, because now we've just done wild rice, brown rice, and you can even do your wild grains, white rice, any kind of rice, but it's just this perfect consistency. Every single grain is separate from the last. It's absolutely perfect, and it's gonna save you so much grief, because now I don't burn anything. You know, the pressure cooker gives me confidence in the kitchen where I didn't always have it.
Look at this, big old, how about a big old seafood boil? You wanna have a nice little lobster?
Hey, don't we have Mardi Gras coming up? Those of you that are doing the clam bakes, pop all your seafood in one pot, put a little bit of liquids in there. Typically with the seafood, you want to do water, but you could do anything. And in less than 5 minutes, there goes the crab. Less than 5 minutes, you're going to have the perfect seafood bake. And normally, gosh, I would have shied away from...
Going in.
Okay, you go in, guy.
Going in.
I knew you were going to do that.
All right, so, and then I want to give you an idea, the amount of food that you can feed your family. And then, hey, by the way, cleanup? Yeah, okay, that's dishwasher safe. That's how simple it is. That whole vessel is removable, and you can cover it and put it in the fridge if you need to. We've got enough food for about 6 people there.
At least.
In one little pan. All right, extremely busy. Use express ordering now. There's about 450 of these to go around for the lucky people that get them. Now, do you have 2 chickens in there?
I have 2 5-pound chickens in there, and you see me struggling to get them out. That's how juicy and moist these chickens are. You can feed an army. And all I did was hit that poultry button twice. Remember, it's one button cooking. I don't even have to know how long my chicken should be cooking. See if I got a knife down here just to show you how juicy and moist.
I'll flip it over because the breast's on the other side.
Okay,
so let's
thank
do
you,
that.
Perfect.
And then there you go.
And look at this, how moist, and it's just glistening. It's fall off the bone, and it's healthier because you haven't leached all of the vitamins and minerals out of it.
You know what I love too is that for a lot of us, one of the biggest challenges ever is making gravy.
Absolutely.
And there, everybody, is your gravy. And if you want, you can add a little bit of, add a little slurry of cornstarch or whatever flour. You can do a little roux and you can make great gravy. But that's really one of the great features, built-in sauce with all these. Now, when it comes time to doing big batches of food, I think about things like a big pot of meatballs,
if you're
chili, stews, chowders. I mean, this is the pot you want to use.
This is, and it's freezing cold in most of the country right now. Actually, I'd say it's freezing cold here in Florida, but it's 60 degrees, so I can't complain. How about some chili or a nice, delicious, loaded baked potato soup done in under 10 minutes, under 10 minutes, and I have 8 quarts. Remember, this is the 8-quart capacity. I have 8 quarts of loaded baked potato soup to feed my friends and family. And people look at me and they think, you can cook, lady. I mean, I always could cook, and now my friends go, you can cook.
I always say this is the best friend that you can give to anybody who does not know how to cook.
Yes.
And gentlemen out there who are learning to cook or want to cook, it's really hard to screw up on a pressure cooker because this one has 13 presets, all right? So it tells you the amount of time and what to put in with the recipe book. but it's simple. You cannot screw it up. It's almost impossible to burn anything on this because it's timed cooking. And you know when it's gonna be done. We give you the instructions to tell you when. If you're a gardener and you have extra strawberries, right, you can can in here.
Strawberry season here in Florida, but throughout the country you could do those winter vegetables, your leftovers. If you make your baked potato soup, can it for later. In a half an hour to an hour, depending on what you're canning, not an entire weekend. Those of you that are canners, you know what I'm talking about. This is gonna make your life so much easier. All you do is put the cans inside, you fill it up to the water, you read the instruction manual because it will tell you exactly how much time to cook your keep it in there with your cans.
Look at everything you've done. So we did big batches of soup. We've canned some product. We didn't even pull the other chicken out. And look at how tender and juicy this chicken is. I'm telling you, I'm a huge fan of the French onion soup mix thing.
I love that idea.
So good in almost anything.
I love that idea.
But that's what you can do, and you know, you can dump that on top and put some kind of sauce with it, and it makes it so good. Grab your favorite barbecue sauce, put that in. You can do like with these chickens. You could put ducks in there and put a little orange marmalade in there.
This is orange. I mean, you could. The sky is the limit. Get crazy with it. Like I said, we had a caller last time we aired this guy. I don't know if you remember. She said, "My friends think I can cook. I couldn't cook," and it was so funny because she was so excited about her pressure cooker. If you have a scary thought, and you remember your grandmother's pressure cooker that used to wobble around on the countertop, not with the Elite Electric pressure cooker. Remember, it has the safety features built in, so when it's under pressure, you can't get the lid off. You don't have to clear out the kitchen just to get to your meal.
You don't, and I love that throughout the year, the holidays, you know, if you're doing a romantic Valentine's Day, you could do your Swedish meatballs in there. If you're doing, think about it, St. Patty's Day, you could do your corned beef and cabbage. For the holidays, you could do a whole giant pot of just hot dogs in here just to keep them warm for your 4th of July party.
That's absolutely right.
As the holidays come around, Thanksgiving, you could do your mashed potatoes in here. You could do your desserts in here. We did a bucket of rice.
Remember that rice cooked perfectly.
There's the corned beef and cabbage. Goof-proof corned beef and cabbage. So
26 minutes.
Yeah, if you don't know how to do it, it's in the instruction book. We did the beautiful chicken thighs in just like an Italian sort of a sauce with peppers. You can do it in a Mexican style. And again, buy the cheaper cuts of meat. It always makes good sense to do that. And then we took 2 giant containers of ribs and we pulled them out here. I'm gonna pull this other rack out just to show you. Here's our ribs, and there you go. Look at that. Here's the meat. I want you to look. The meat falls on. Here, you want a bone? Look, there's the bone. That's the way ribs are supposed to be cooked. Fall apart tender. There's your meat, and that's how to cook them. When you're in a pinch and you don't have 6 or 8 hours, hey, listen, I got a smoker outside. If I've got 12 or 13 hours, I'll do some ribs. You know how many opportunities I've had to do ribs in the last 6 months?
Because you're not getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, I can't do it.
It just kills me when my husband does that. It's like, oh, I'm getting up at 2 o'clock to put the ribs on. I'm thinking, are you crazy? I value my sleep too much. They taste the same. They're so delicious and moist and juicy.
And look at your beautiful roasted pineapple.
I started with that dessert. Those of us don't think of pressure cookers doing dessert, but they can do anything. You can actually have the delicious pineapple with the ice cream. How about a little bit of caramel on top, guys?
How nice that is.
I mean, now you can really impress your friends and family, and they're never going to believe.
How about like poached pears or peaches or things like that? Let me tell you something. You can't go wrong. That's awesome.
So good.
Oh my God.
And remember, Elite has thought of everything.
Do that with pineapple.
I want to point down here to the digital brain. 13 functions. If you have ever thought of cooking it, it's on here. So it's just totally foolproof.
We got about 300 left, so let us know. We're very limited on the red. If you'd like it, true customer pick, free shipping and handling. Get it home for $32.68. You're going to use this thing all year long.
Absolutely.
You're coming back later, right?
I'll be back at 1 o'clock.
All right, 1 o'clock, and Kelly will be back. I'm continuing to chew my pineapple. Kathy has got to